Welcome back to another episode of The Key to All of This with Tim and Dylan. I'm Dylan. Hey, Tim. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
I like your
Always
outfit.
brightening up. Thank you. It's very green.
I liked it last week too. Do you like my outfit? Because I liked it last
Yeah.
week too.
Yeah. We're wearing the same thing. It's like we recorded these back to back.
I do miss recording them back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would do 2 or 3 sometimes and then just kind of space them out. So last week's episode, we talked about the Acolyte, but we're not sure what happened yet because we're recording these back to back. But this week, we're going to talk about a species, characters of Star Wars that are not a lot's known about them. And I just sounded really dumb with everything I just said. But we're talking about Jawas.
No, you did. I love these little creatures, and just to dive right into the history, I think George Lucas wanted a character that resembled like a desert rat, pilfering around, and they didn't want to do something that was similar to an actual rat, so they got a bunch of 12 little kids to play a bunch of Jawas. And the rest is history.
Yeah, I love it. Do you think we'll ever see their faces?
I don't think so. I think that's the whole point, is that these I guess they're also very, very furry creatures too, apparently.
Yeah, that's really the only thing that we learned about them from Peli Motto in The Mandalorian, because she used to date one, which
that's right. Yeah.
I would find very interesting. I would pay to see that.
Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of sickos like you who have just really like been the nightmare of a Google employee.
Yeah,
being like, he's searching for this again, and we've got nothing.
Look, when you're married and you've got a kid, you gotta go dark web sometimes.
You're just BitTorrenting tons of terrible videos.
Yeah, what's under that trench coat, Jawa?
Show yourself.
Yeah, I was thinking of this earlier today because, as everyone knows, I have a massive collection of Star Wars toys, and they did like a Jawa 2-pack for Star Wars Power of the Force, and then they did a Ronto with the Jawa, and I remember it came with a harness that was actual string, so you could recreate the special effects from the special editions where
when he
right when
falls
he gets
off.
to Tatooine, he falls and he swings. I remember doing that so much as a kid, just having the land speeder drive by and the the Ronto kicks him off, and I love those toys. And they had little clear plastic windows in their head, so when you had them under the light, their eyes would glow yellow.
Oh, I think I did see that. Yeah. They're kind
of a pretty cool feature.
Yeah.
Another thing about the toys, which is awesome knowledge. The original series, they were trying to come up with what the Jawas would look like as action figures, and they couldn't figure out how to do the robes. So one of the leads on the toy design took off his brown sock, cut it, and made a little hood, and then tied it into a knot, and that's what the original test photos of the Jawa action figures were.
That person's sock in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how DIY that whole first, not only the first movie was, but also the all the toys that came out after it, and the idea of these kids playing Jawas in the Tunisian heat with wearing this really heavy costume with literally light bulbs inside. I just think that's so funny to me. I don't know why. I find that really funny.
Yeah, that's child labor laws must have been different back then.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think that they are great because they introduce us to this world, right? And you think, oh, these are really kind of low status characters. They're living in the desert. And then boom, you see this huge sand crawler. And you realize, oh, these guys are the wealthy the wealthy tribe,
Yeah,
like that.
the wealthy junkers.
Even the yeah, even the smallest creatures in the Star Wars universe have this huge effect.
Hmm. Yeah, and well, you can say Jawas are the key to all of this because if it weren't for the Jawas and R5D4, the message would have never gotten to Luke Skywalker
Yeah,
from R2D2. Obviously, it's now canon that R5D4 exploded on
self-destructive. Yeah.
purpose, but they were being sold by the Jawas, and that's our introduction really to Luke and introduction for Luke and the droids. The purchasing of
Hmm.
the droids, that's the name of the action figure set where it's got
Hmm.
Uncle Owen pointing and basically like, I'll take those two. And yeah, it comes with C3PO and Luke, but I don't think it comes with R2D2, that pack. It doesn't
Really?
matter. This has nothing to do with that. But it is Star Wars. Yeah, so they play a huge part, and I think I love them even more going into the Mandalorian because you get to learn more about them. You get to see the inside of the Sandcrawler. You get to
Hmm.
see that they can tear apart the entire Razor Crest in like no time at all, and all they want is that Mudhorn egg. That's it. Just
Yeah.
that goopy mess.
I know. I love how they treat it.
Hmm.
Once they get it, they're just like, good Lord. Yeah. I think it really kind of rounded out their like species, their motivation. This guy is just evaporated, disintegrated their friends,
Hmm.
and they're still willing to barter with him
Yeah.
because I think they have this kind of like survivalist mentality, being like the past is, in the past we have money to make kind of approach to it.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah,
and
and that scene when he's riding the Sandcrawler and like ripping Jawas out of the window is one of my favorite from The Mandalorian because
Yeah.
it's like the first real use of the volume where like I feel like I'm there.
Hmm.
It's a much bigger set because he's attached to this Sandcrawler rather than it just being like in the background or whatever. So yeah, I'm very happy to see them in The Mandalorian. I appreciate them more because of that. But um, there's a new game, Star Wars Hunters, which I don't know if you've downloaded, but
Hmm.
I have it on my Nintendo Switch and my iPhone, and you can link the characters, or the accounts, so I can switch and still keep my stats and everything. But there are two Jawa brothers in it called Utinni, and they stand on each other's shoulders and they have a long trench coat, so they look like two kids trying to buy a movie ticket. Um, but they have so they've got the ion cannon, and then
Hmm.
they've got this like ion trap, like you throw it and then it kind of explodes, but it like picks the person up. And then they have an ultimate move where they just immediately build this like tank and they're shooting lasers out of it. And then once the meter for that ultimate move is done, it just turns back into junk. Um, they're like two of my favorite characters in that game. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like a blast.
You should get
Um,
it.
and I know I need to get it. There's been a lot of talk outside this episode of me getting it. And I also think that like Jawa juice in Dex's Diner and makes an appearance, and it's confirmed it's neither made by Jawas or of Jawas, which I think is a good, healthy clarification.
Yep.
But I like how people know about Jawas. Not everyone knows about Tatooine, but people know about Jawas. Yeah, there you go.
It's filled with Jawa juice.
It better be. Yeah,
Yeah. We should come up with Star Wars cocktails. And
I think it'd be great.
yeah, and you should move back.
I,
Any chance I can get you.
yeah, I the tally has gone up one,
Hmm. Yep.
but yeah.
So Jawas are originally from Tatooine. Do you find it odd that they speak Jawese and not whatever the locals on Tatooine speak?
I found it a little odd. They're kind of like Aboriginal too. Like I know that I don't think this is exactly canon lore, but in the expanded universe, legends at least, they talked about how like Tusken Raiders and Jawas are like descended from the same, you know, common ancestor.
Mm.
I don't know how true that is now, but
Yeah.
it is strange. They feel like almost as old as the planet itself,
Mhm.
and everyone there is kind of just visiting. Relatively speaking,
Yeah.
they've only been there for centuries. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to make of that.
Yeah. Maybe it is just because they're like rodents, so it's like how dogs can speak and whatever, but they can't
Hmm.
speak human. But also people can understand them, and Palimoto or Motto can speak Jawies,
Yeah,
as we see in the
and date
Mandalorian.
this person. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Very furry.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're just great.
yeah, I love them.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, you go ahead. I was just saying that I like them.
Yeah, I was just I was cool. I like them too. I just think they're great, and they show like the resourcefulness. You need to like survive on Tatooine. You know,
Yeah.
like they've built an empire of turning junk into something working, and that shows that like Tatooine is immediately shows that Tatooine is in a state of disrepair
Hmm.
constantly, and that like there's a real big business of turning trash into into something that works.
Yeah. Very resourceful.
Yeah.
Very resourceful. Yeah, I appreciate Jawas, and I think that the more we see them in Star Wars, the more it really connects everything to me. You know
Mhm.
what? You do put some Jawas in the Acolyte, and then it'll feel more like Star Wars for me. Like
Yes.
you don't have to add the specific Jawa who slurped out of the Mudhorn egg first, but show me some Jawa.
At least the second one.
Yeah, I want the second one.
Even the first
I want
one.
it to be canon that he's got Mudhorn sludge under his nails. That's all I've got for
You
Jawas.
want to insert Mudhorn sludge into every possible streaming service series. I don't blame you.
Do you think YouTube's gonna shut this video down like
This
they did
one
with
guy on YouTube's
Smooth
like,
Jazz?
he's had his finger hovering over the delete button for the
Yeah.
past, 10 minutes. So if he's made it this far,
Hmm.
we give him the right to delete.
Yeah. Deal.
Deal.
Well,
Don't
that's
do.
it for me, Tim,
Me too. May the force be with you, Dylan.
and also with you, Tim.
Aw,
Utini.
thanks.